It has to be owned by a squad member and occupied by a squad member.
Quartz
There we
Ridge.
go.
Platoon is
We're going to Quartz Ridge Camp. Platoon is not actual.
Gotcha.
Looks like the Quartz
Platoon
Ridge
is now actual.
not too hot.
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't
the
look
NC
like
walking into there.
it's super bad. Alright. So this first building as we go out is a modified version of the corkscrew. The corkscrew is a building that gets really crowded really fast. So if you have any more than like 6 to 8 people in here, it starts to feel a little bit cramped.
I'm not gonna wait for everyone else to get here.
Okay. Actually, Element, do you want to drop on Charlie Point? We'll move up there because there's an actual corkscrew up there.
Gotcha.
I did pretty well, except there were a few mistakes.
NC.
This here's
I had just recently cleared up.
Leading a field trip under fire.
Drop, drop, drop.
yeah. I might have had you guys sign permission slips if I knew it was gonna be like this, but I guess not. I'm gonna get sued.
Fuck permissions.
I'll take the kill.
Do we
So
get a
this-
free pack
this
lunch?
Charlie Point's
I
just a
always got
cigar,
free
right?
lunches.
How school did
You
go
got
to?
free packed
Private?
lunches? You lucky.
Yeah, they
Is
bought
that,
it.
is that correct, Melios? This Charlie Point, this is a cigar?
Charlie
This is
Point is
corkscrew.
a bunker.
Oh, yeah, bunker.
Bunker, okay.
Yes. Okay. I don't really go over bunkers and pillboxes because they're so small.
Yeah, just those things with 2 doors and 1 room. Yeah, not
They're
much
not
to
even that
cover.
common.
So one fire team can hold those pretty well, right?
Right. In lots of situations, we've got like a point in one of those rooms. There's usually other buildings around that you just assign a second fire team to, or a second and third fire team to each one of those other buildings, and then they can support from those buildings. So, this is a corkscrew, and it gets crowded fast because you only need 1 or 2 people to hold down a line, or a lane of fire. So, your engineer turret would be going here, looking down these stairs, and then your second one would be going down here, looking through to this door. It's as simple as that. You'd have heavies that would be watching and supporting these guys, medics who would be sitting from the stairwell right here, as well as kind of in the back of this corner over here. And then hot medics would be up slightly behind the heavies. As far as the bottom floor goes, unless there's something important down here, I don't think there really is ever a point in these areas, you don't really need to touch them. Because almost 100% of the time, the point is going to be in the top little space that I'm in right now.
Snow share. See, I think there's a point in the bottom of one of these.
Assimilating and distributing all
No, sure. Point
Yeah,
Charlie.
C point. I think there's a point in the bottom.
Yeah, there is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember holding that a couple weeks ago with half a platoon. It was very cramped.
Yeah, it gets pretty cramped. In that case, you would just alter it so that you've got the majority of your defense would be holding either entrance. You'd probably want to try and get guys away from this bottom window. This is just not a fun building to hold. You need support fire coming from other angles in order to ensure that you hold this building. If I threw an entire squad into this building, holding this point, using this to suppress Charlie Point, say we were attacking Forest Ridge, if I threw the entire squad in here to hold the front against Charlie Point, it would not work. Because simply all that they need to do is come up along this ridge and then flank around the bottom and they can hit us all on the top. What you need to do is you need to put half the squad in that building. It's no longer a cramped building because you've only got 6 to 8 people in there. And you throw the other 6, 8 members up on this ridge, and now they've got spawn
User
suppression.
joined your channel.
So that is the Corkscrew building. The second building that we're going to cover at Quartz Ridge is called the Split Level building. That's where Triple Chevron Alpha's at. It's called the Split Level because it's 2 rooms split by 1 level, 1 staircase.
Yeah, there's a tank over here.
And an enemy Sunday.
Oh, balls. Live fire.
Permission to engage.
Permission granted.
One to see him.
Neutralize that enemy armor. Then we can cover this.
Kill that tank.
Second Decium. It's on fire. Somebody
Oh fuck, there's...
Oh, Henry.
Oh,
Well, I fucking derped.
thanks.
I was
Ted.
gonna
Alpha
maybe wish
beacon's
rush
down if
grenades
you guys
on
need to
you.
use it. Okay. So up here by Alpha Point, one thing I don't like about Quartz Ridge is that all of the points are in tiny buildings. I think it's 2 bunkers and then a pillbox. Okay, so the split level building is once again split into 2 levels by 1 staircase, and that's why it's called the split level. It's kind of open as far as firing lanes go because each level itself is longer than it is wide, and the width being kind of measured by where the entrances are. And so you don't have much of a blind spot, because if I try and stand here and there's a blind spot to this door, this door is completely open. So you have to be very careful about where you're going to put your cover. A lot of the medics and engineers will actually be on this staircase unless you're holding one side and you have to assault the other side. The heavies will be the ones who are kind of up and about on these different levels. Should there be a point in one side, it might be beneficial to hold one side and then have a satellite rotating around to go and flank whatever assault they've got going from the other side. And that's about all there is to it to the split level building. And the last building that we're going to cover, which doesn't exist at this base unfortunately, there's a live outside by the way, is called the Cave Building. Oh wait, no, we've got 2 buildings to cover. So if you redeploy to Havar Tech Plant, like if you guys want to redeploy to Havar Tech Plant, the last 2 buildings are going to be there.
I got 2 kills in that Libby.
Nice.
User in your channel timed out.
Element, there's no need to worry about the galaxy. I don't think we're going to need it after all.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing you have to learn when you're in this squad is never go off by yourself.
Never. And if you do, please tell somebody.
I'm sorry, DHs.
Yeah, we're not the warp kit anymore. People aren't immune to damage.
I didn't mean to shoot it. Right in front of my gun.
Why
I shot it in the
me?
head.
See, I just wanted to knife him in the back. He was only going to take half his health.
Kitley, are you coming?
She dropped from the TeamSpeak.
Okay. So, if we go out to a gen room, specifically, actually each one of the gen rooms is in one of the new buildings. So, we're going to go to Alpha first. Alpha Triple Chevron is called the Cave Building. There are a bunch of caves around the tech plant, around this tech plant. I think
On
all
your
tech
6
plants.
routes.
Okay. We'll wait for Henry and Conflict. Actually, I think Conflict knows what's up with this building, so he did get underway for him.
On my way.
Okay. So this building has 2 entrances. One on the bottom floor and there's one on the top floor. The majority of stuff's going to happen on the top floor. However, a lot of stuff's going to happen on the bottom floor. So where DSX has got his turret right now, with that 45-degree angle,
90.
at 90-degree angle, kind of aligned with this. His field of view is going to be aligned with the corner of the room. One of his like limits to his field of view is going to be parallel with this wall here that looks out this door. The other one's going to be parallel with the other wall that looks down the rest of the building. So from here, he can look at this door right here. From here, he can take this. So he can cover this stairwell, anything coming up here.
Hey, what you guys?
So he's gonna be kind of like that linchpin position. Anybody that wants to know,
Just to let you know, you're a
has to
little
go through him
quiet. I'm
first.
going through
Supporting him
training
are going
stuff.
to be heavies. So these heavies are going to also look up this room, support that room.
Yeah,
And then you're going to
competitive
have
stuff for
hot
Planetside
medics
too.
kind of over here, as well as probably one cold medic, which is kind of where this gen is. And you're going to have one cold medic
Oh, yeah, it's a
that's
practice. Oh, we're just
going to
practicing
be
before
on
we
the
do
stairwell,
screaming.
as well as one hot medic who's going to be kind of peeking this area right here with a heavy to support, as well as another engineer that would be covering this stairwell up and then out that door.
Can someone explain what a hot medic is?
Okay, so a hot medic is a medic that engages in combat like a heavy. And so what they do is they'll engage their healing ability, their AoE heal, and by doing that, that gives everybody about one extra bullet that they can take. And so they can 1v1 that way fairly easily with... Oh, Pachi. Anyway, they can 1v1 pretty easily with the other, not very armored, I guess.
Is Pachi giving you Asian jokes again?
It's in
Guess so.
squad chat.
Anyway, the cold medic is a medic who stays as far away from bullets as possible, basically. So they're going to be the guys who are going to be hiding in the corners and like, oh, looks like the group is wiping, so now I'm going to throw a res grenade, kind of a thing. They make sure everybody stays alive, everybody is fit and healthy to go and kill other troops. About it. So the roles
Simplest
are
way
just
to
kind
look
of
at it
yeah.
is hot medic is aggressive, cold medic is not. Simplest way possible.
Yep. Simplest way possible.
Gotcha.
Alright.
Your gun is your primary is hot, your is cold, your tool is your primary.
What was this room again?
The cave building. It's called the cave because on the second floor here, if you have this overlap that creates a cave on the bottom floor.
Right.
Okay, so now the other one that we're going to look at is the seesaw.
Yeehaw.
See ya, suckers!
Oh, he's cheating. Shoot him down.
Huh?
You see the link? That's the game.
Conflict and his elite hacks.
Now we just have to find. Go to the Nintendo
I swear I'm lagging.
eShop on your 3DS. eShop.
Okay, so this is called the seesaw building. The reason it's called the seesaw building is because you have
Until Sunday,
two opposing
to
stairwells
download
that
the
kind of
game for
lead up to
free.
the second floor, so it kind of is like a seesaw.
So I can download it.
Yeah, we're gonna pretend that made sense.
Hopefully
Anyway,
there's enough space.
split up into two
Until
sides. You've got
Sunday
the
else, I can
drop
download it
side and
now.
the lift side. The drop side is this smaller side here that's got these three entrances that are pretty close to each other. The lift side is called the lift side because in a biolab there's usually a lift that goes up to right where I'm standing. It can be identified as lift side because it's got this L shape right here.
Oh man.
Yeah, so in order to defend this building, you have your heavies would be watching from the balcony, as well as your hot medics. Your cold medics would be more towards where the gen is.
Why is that?
And if you have a larger squad, you would have your hot medics would be kind of looking more at the balcony. And then your engineer would be where DSX is, and you'd have a second engineer opposite of DSX looking down the other stairwell. About as much as you've got with that. Flanking wise, you can have people that jump off the balcony, and then you immediately have a flanking position on one of the two areas. But it's really, be really careful with your timing here, because if they're still streaming through these doors while you flank, they're going to notice you before you can do any damage. And the same goes for the other side.